Hi everyone, and welcome to Tech with Eros podcast. This is another exciting and educative section we having with our guest Grace Youpele. Hi Grace, how you doing? Oh, it's good to have you here. Okay, so quick one. Can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi everyone, my name is Chris Youpele and I'm a mobile developer and founder of Ladies Developer Community. I'm also the lead to another community called Plan Nigeria, and I speak, sometimes write, sometimes mentor, and I'm the woman technical ambassador. That's it
That
about me, I guess.
that's great. Thank you for sharing. Today's topic is going to be really exciting. We get a lot of people talk about beyond burnout. Oh, I'm burnt out. Oh, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. Stuff like that. So today's topic is beyond burnout, uncovering the hidden causes of career frustration in tech. A lot of persons get this frustration in their career journey, and they just feel like, oh, I'm burnt out, stuff like that. And that's why we brought our guest here, Grace, to come share insights on this topic and uncover hidden causes of career frustration a lot of persons might be going through in tech. So you just need to sit with your coffee and enjoy the episode. Um, yeah, so Grace, can you share a moment in your tech journey when you felt like, oh, you are really frustrated in your career journey, and what were the signs that made you feel you are actually frustrated?
Okay, so yeah, definitely. I mean, in this whole career journey, there's been lots of moments like that. And particularly, I had one sometime this year.
Okay.
I was meant to do something, and it was my first time doing that. It was a task, and it was my first time doing that. And I started well, but in line of completing the task and all that, I had a blocker, and this blocker was hell. This blocker was after my life. I did lots of research. I asked lots of questions, went to my mentors, people I I felt was going to have answers to these questions. I
Mhm.
asked almost everybody. My open tabs that period was
Everybody.
plenty. Like I was just trying to find solutions to this thing. I was on every person's comments in Stack Overflow, check what is happening. And funny enough, I couldn't find solution for like maybe a week. And to be honest, it's really did down on me that I think this is it because I was so frustrated for like a week, and it was I think into the next second week. I already said, "Oh, I think I'm not good enough for this thing." These
Really?
questions you start asking
Yeah.
yourself, you start
Are you sure
questioning
this is my line?
you start questioning your career choices like what am I doing here, and then we needed to go live and all that, so every time we respond a question like where are we on this task, I keep giving the same answer, and I figured that I kept giving the same answers for like a week, and I felt so bad, and I started asking myself that is this where I want to be. At some point I said this is 2 weeks. So it got to 2 weeks, week two, complete week two, and I still couldn't figure it out. I was like, no, maybe I should just resign.
Oh,
It
really?
got to that point, I was like, I should resign because obviously this doesn't tell good of me and my career competence. Like, why am I stuck on one thing for 2 weeks? And then how did I know that I was burnt out? Because for me, I felt like I was just frustrated and all that. But I'm usually very lively on stand-ups and meetings and all that. But then I think my colleagues noticed and they asked a couple of times on stand-ups like, Grace, are you okay? You've not been sounding you lately. And I was dull, obviously, because I'm sleeping and I'm thinking of these tasks. I wake up, that's the first thing on my mind. I go to do it. I feel frustrated every time I don't find a solution. So I'm going to bed angry. In fact, I don't feel like doing anything personal that I would enjoy doing on a normal day. Probably I enjoy watching movies a lot. I don't even feel like doing that. I don't feel like talking to anyone. If I even see a call, I'll just sigh
Get
and be like, why is someone
frustrated.
calling me?
I, I can
I'm
relate.
all over the place, and I think I was somehow I was so to myself, and my energy was off. So my my boss reached out one day and was like, "Chris, you know you to be this lively person. Why are you just off your energy? Do you know how our energy affects ourselves? Our energy affects our environment, and your energy really do affect your colleagues and all that. And everybody's beginning to notice what is the challenge." And I explained, it was like, I know there is this challenge because that's what you keep saying every day on your stand up. So we all know there is this challenge, but have we in any way put it to you that do this or this or that? I was like, no, but it's my job. I don't need to wait to be told, either you do it or you don't do it. So I have to do it. So that expectation of I have to do it, but I have to do it was there. So I needed to look for every means possible. Anyways, I think I figured the solution the third week, into the third week, randomly,
Oh wow.
like somebody that had given suggestions before, I've tried and it wasn't working because there were plenty solutions to it. Anyways, mine wasn't working. The person just randomly said, "Hey, I found this solution. I don't know if anybody have tried it, but something else worked for me. But anybody that, because we were plenty, I figured that had that issues, but somebody else can try this one." And then luckily I tried that one and it worked. So I was like, that day I screamed. Like I screamed. So I realized that I was really burnt out because imagine having to your colleagues getting to realize that you weren't your energy was off, negative, and personally, I lacked interest in things that I would normally be interested in my personal life. So these were just signs I knew that nah, I was burnt out.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that experience with us. It was really it was really related, in the tech world, especially when they expect so much from you and you're on a particular task for a long time. You don't want to show that you are not competent enough to get that done. But what do you feel about this also culture in tech space? Everybody trying to, also here, they call it also bustle, right? In the tech culture. Do you think it contributes to career dissatisfaction and frustration?
Well, the hustle culture is good in one way,
Okay.
but it definitely has its own negatives, has its sides and other sides to it, in the sense that you have to hustle to get it done. You have to hustle. Like there is no getting things done or there is no achievement without hustling for it. So yeah, to achieve something you have to hustle. But then I think the side effects that would cause burnout to this is that mostly in the hustling space, we are mostly competing instead of collaborating. Like everybody's competing. I can do it. I can be the best. I'm the best at it, and all of that. And when you constantly compete instead of collaborating, you might just feel because there's no matter what you think you know, there's somebody that knows more than you
Better.
do. So when you constantly compete, you feel that personally, I feel burned out like at work because you know this whole space of you are a girl and the company space is your company is male dominated and you have to feel like as a lady you have to work times two of what everybody does just to
To
prove that you're
prove.
competent. So it's just the same thing in a career, like in general, that when you are always hustling, competing to prove a point, but then either you like it or not, there's just this one person that would know more than you do in the general space now. So constantly you feel this much that, oh, I think I'm getting it, but then there's this person. And then you don't even have time for your personal self. You don't even have clear boundaries of when to stop and when not to stop because you have to constantly compete instead of looking for how to um, look for how to grow your growth instead of competing. And then another thing can be the sense that we are all in the oh, I'm missing out. I'm missing out. I see this space and people are doing great there, they are doing well. Meanwhile, I'm just here. I'm not doing anything. I feel like the world is moving on, everybody's achieving
And you're
great
stagnant.
things, and I'm just here. You start questioning yourself, and all of these things, whether we like it or not, it has a side effect on our personal life because we begin to question our self worth, we begin to question our competence. Like, do I even know what I'm doing? Our choices and all of those things. So the constant fear of I'm missing out, or everybody is progressing and I'm there. It's something that can cause burnout because we're constantly trying to be there, to be out there like everyone. And also, I feel like the this career space doesn't really give room for, everybody talks about work-life balance and all that, but nobody really takes work-life balance serious. In as much as we need to work, they say there's no work-life balance. It's true, right? But in as much as we are trying to be productive all the time, you have to also try to balance it with what you like, have personal interest, because the constant I have to be productive, I have to be productive. I mean, this person is productive, these people are productive, I have to be productive. I have to constant innovation, I have to be innovative. This person is building this one is building that one. What am I building? And all of these things. Like this constant urge to do things, everything, everywhere, to be everywhere to
So
causes
in this
burnout.
sense, are you saying that curiosity is also that in as much as it has positive influence, it's also like a negative side?
Yeah, I think mostly everything that has its positive side has its negative side
Because a
too.
lot of persons come with this curiosity, and
True.
I get people say if you want to grow in this tech space, you must be curious.
Yeah,
You
true.
must.
You must be curious, but in as much as you must be curious, you have to have clear expectations and
Okay.
clear priority. Because if you are curious of everything and you want to be everywhere at the same time, you find yourself lost, and this would lead to burnout. Like,
Sure.
I'm everywhere. Oh, I'm noticing this person writes well on this topic and everything. I'm here. I'm not even done with where I am right
You're
now.
moving.
I'm
Okay.
trying to move to the next one. Well, I'm noticing that these people are always posting about this career space. They're always bubbling. It seems like that place is happening. There was a time I thought maybe I should move to products designers because they're always partying, they're always hanging out and all that. I feel like
Sure.
move out them so that we do it. We should be. I feel like maybe that's where I should be.
Sure.
So imagine maybe if I moved on from where I am right now to that part.
You'd have just
Who
been
knows?
starting.
I might just be stagnant or I wouldn't have gone as far as I've gone right here
Yeah.
where I am. So curiosity is good. Curiosity is in as much as we would like to go deep into our curiosity, have clear expectations and clear priorities of what you want to be doing at a particular time and know when to move to the next thing instead of always jumping into the next new thing.
Okay, so cases where you get to see people that you and I will we're on LinkedIn here, and we get to see people saying, "I'm in software development, but I've learned JavaScript," and then all of a sudden there's this new AI. I'm going to AI, and the next thing I'm hearing, "Ah, it looks like mobile dev. They need mobile dev, and I'm moving to mobile dev." They want to occupy the space, but cases like this, how will it affect their career in the frustration part of things, and what do you think they need to do? Is it that they need to stay on one, or how can they transition to other field? Because we also get this saying that you might start with one thing in tech but might not really be where you be. So what do you think people can do in that aspect?
Okay, personally, I started with web dev.
Okay.
I don't even know. HTML was easy, sweet, it was clean. CSS was good too. When I entered JavaScript, I was like, what? What am I doing here? So and then
Everybody feels that way when they get to
I
JavaScript.
remember that year.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. While you were talking, you mentioned about the work-life balance. So in this remote work life of ours now, because if you look at it, everybody's now adapting to remote work, remote work. How has this remote work affected like the work and the personal life, affected career frustration, like in a way? What do you see in that aspect?
For me, I would say there is this tendency to not be able to differentiate or associate your personal space with work. For instance, you have your workspace. As a remote worker, we all have our workspace in our
In the
own
house.
house, right? So imagine you are just seeing it. You're automatically in the mood to work. For people that go to the office, I go to the office and I have my desk, I have my laptop, I work, and after that, I'm done, I'm home. Nobody's texting me at night saying,
True.
please push one code. Push one code. What? Do you even know if I've gotten home? I can easily just say I'm still stuck in traffic. For
Traffic.
Lagos people, I've not gotten home. Or is it past 12 that I got home? You want me to come and be pushing? I'm sorry, I can't. I have to be in the office tomorrow by 8 a.m. again. So, you have this personal space and you have work at work, where you have personal space at home. But as a remote worker, I mean, it's not as a remote as if I'm on site worker. Why would my lead have my number, my WhatsApp number in the first
That's
place? As a remote worker, my lead has my number.
and they can easily call you even if it's past 7, past 8. Can
Grace,
you
please push
push
one
push
code.
the work?
This
It's
one.
a small fix. It's a small fix.
Like, I'm relaxed in my bed trying to watch movie for the night because I feel like I'm done. And then somebody is telling me push one code. See my desk.
And
Why would I go and push that one
you
code?
get stalked longer.
That is it. They don't even have remote workers. I don't think we have respect to after hours work.
Nah.
They don't know that. Like, there is no after hours work time for remote workers. The expectation of you have to always respond, you always have to deliver because you're home. Everybody's thinking you're home. What are you doing? I'm home, so I have a life. But they expect you to always deliver, and these things can be really tiring because, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't even differentiate what life, your personal life, from the work life because you always find yourself on that decks. Early morning, I wake up, the first thing. When somebody is on their way to the office, I'm already on my decks. And the time that people are on their way home, I'm still on my decks.
Hmm.
And they feel like you are not working. They feel like probably you slept. I did not sleep. I was working. So the expectations for remote workers can be really intense. That
So, what do you
causes.
think the tech guys or tech ladies in what do you think they should do? How can they draw these boundaries to not let them go into the career frustration?
To be honest.
Because we come off with saying like you need to draw the line, you need to have, but over time we still don't have this work life balance. So what do you think we can do in this space?
For me, I'll
Like
say
talking from the angle of the developers or the tech guys now.
learn to say no. I'm not saying say no before they sack you.
But
I can't
really,
even say no,
sometimes,
right?
but
But
sometimes
yes,
you just have to.
there's a way
Usually,
to
some die minutes. They just give you like die minutes to push out something, stuff like that.
like learn to say no in a subtle way,
Okay.
like, oh, sorry, I'm out, you can't come and beat me, this is not working hours, I'm out, so thank you, or please you do that, let's try next time. So learn to say no. Don't always be in the whole haste of, oh, because they reached out, I should respond, especially after work hours. Learn to say no. Subtle, not no,
Yeah,
not
no, not
no.
not
Before they
being
sack you
rude.
and you say it's good, I said no, 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 no. Just learn to say no. And again, learn to have personal interest. I feel like sometimes because we are so engrossed in work, we don't even have personal interest. That at the end of the day, what should I even do? Nothing. So I
Nothing.
should just be on my decks anyways.
Working.
Learn to have personal interest. For me, I do binge watch movies a lot. That is the only thing I do to distress. If I'm tired or I've had a long day or what, I just want to watch series. Like, I find interesting series and binge watch. Probably like, I don't mind sleeping 2, 3. Anyways, I just need to watch that movie. It kind of clear my mind. At that point, I'm not thinking of anything work. I just watching that movie. So learn to have personal interests, hobbies, or something that you can do that wouldn't have you doing nothing, and then you'll be tempted to, I'm free, my desk is here, so what else is remaining? I have to go and do the work. So have personal interest, learn to say no, and be transparent with your employees, your employers, or your subordinates, your leads, and all that. Like, be open with communication. Tell them when you feel like you can't do something, and when a task is given and all that. Um, be clear on if you can achieve this at this point or not. Like, these are the things we should all have clear expectations. The employer should have a clear expectations. I should have clear expectations. So we should all have clear expectations of what I can do and what I can't do. So this pressure of they expect me to do this, but I've not clearly communicated to them that I can't do it. It's not there. I've clearly communicated to them that I can't do this at this point. So I'll be free, I'll be relaxed to at least do something else outside that work. So have clear communications. Let these communications be clear on both sides, on your expectations on deliverables. learn to say no, subtle, and then also have personal interests that you love to do outside work, that you look forward to doing outside work. So I'm working, oh, I have this I need to do. And after working hours, I close my laptop and I'm back to what I'm doing. This can help.
Okay, thank you. I want to chip something in. I think I saw that article somewhere, more like a funny write up though. Coming off as maybe employers should do like pay hourly. Maybe that would
Oh,
maybe that would make them. And there was one time somebody posted like the interview he had with an employer, and the employer was like, okay, you'll be working 9 to 5. And he said, no problem. But once it's 5 and I'm working, you pay me for those times. Like, let's be clear on our times.
sure.
I think for that person, he might have gone through a lot of frustration in past
Mm-hmm.
companies, and that's why he's putting that clear. And okay, cases whereby a techie is with a company, and the techie has this constant frustration with work. Is it okay to leave, or at this point, after it's a normal thing to communicate to people and share and being frustrated at work, and but what do you think the person should do, or is it just okay to leave? Maybe the environment is not really like sustainable.
For me, right? I used to have this company where I'd wake up in the morning and I'll be so angry for waking up.
I've been in that shoes.
Imagine waking up and
I feel
you're angry. It's
I
morning
feel
already.
like it's the sleep time is too short.
Why is it morning already? Like, why am I hating waking up? God, it's a very terrible place to be at. Trust me, like you wake up and you're not happy. Why? It's a bright new day, rise and shine. But I'm not shining because the thought of that workplace
It's
is God.
tiring.
Like I think
It's
about it when
tiring.
I'm exhausted. I'm not started my day, but I'm exhausted from the thought of the job. Honestly, personally, right? I mean, we are looking for money. For the money's sake,
Okay.
if you can endure while looking at for other jobs. But if you can't, because mentally you can't even
It
be
can be
productive
draining.
if you're not happy at
It
a
can be
place, you
draining.
can't even be productive in any way. So and you'll be mentally exhausted, you'll be tired. You are just starting your day and you're feeling tired already, frustrated. Why? So in situations like that, if you can leave, afford to leave and you can still live comfortable, please by all means do. But if you can't because of money with constraints and all that, maybe you can endure while looking for other jobs because
But
it's
it,
not a
it
place to
that will
stay.
now depend if the current company is even letting you look for, because they're already frustrated and they just keep piling up work.
True,
So in that
true,
situation, you might not
true.
even have the time
It's
to
true.
look for.
That's very true. To be honest, right? I think it was towards last year or so. When I left that company, I screamed.
there was there was a scenario where the actual person did not think of resigning. He just woke up that morning like, today I'm resigning. Like it's just get to that
When I
point.
stopped that project, that I remember on the Friday, I had the last hand up, and everybody was like, "Oh, Grace was nice working with you." On Saturday, when I woke up, I called my friend and I was screaming like,
I'm done.
"Oh, I want!" I was like, I slept for the first time in my life. I woke up for the past few months. I woke up happy. So honestly, living is the best choice. Is the best option. Like at that point, because you have to be happy. It's very frustrating. As much as our jobs can be frustrating and tiring and exhausting, one thing that keeps people going is the fact that you like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I currently
Like
like what
solving
I'm doing.
problems.
I currently like what I'm doing absolutely. So even on days that I'm tired, I am weak, body ache, this one will be yelling, will be ranting, body ache, my back, my neck, this and that. But at the end of the day, I love my job. So I would keep even with all of these things doing them. So loving your job is very important for one to be productive and to avoid burnout. The best option, leave if you can afford to. If you can't afford to, manage and be praying to God that they change, hopefully. But those kind of people don't change you. I don't
I don't
think
think so.
so. It will just be to leave.
Especially when you are with a company and you are literally doing almost everything. A lot of people say they are full stack, and you get to a company, you are the back end, you are the front end, you are the middle end, you
And
are all the ends.
sometimes they don't even appreciate or see it. Do you know how it feels like to do
They
everything
are
and
paying
they
you
don't?
anyways.
Oh,
So
please. A little nice work and all that here and there can help the day, can help somebody's life, can help somebody's next decision. So it's frustrating when you do all of these things and
and they
no
don't see the
appreciation,
work.
nothing. Everybody's feeling like you're not doing anything and all that. So, man, best to leave. My advice: if you can stay and endure and get another job. So in that position, you just start talking to people. If you can't apply directly, just tell people I
To
need
refer
job.
you.
Yes, I'm out. I'm looking for a job and all that. So even if you don't have the time to put out applications, at least people will be on the watch out for you too, and you can easily switch when you can. Or sometimes you can take the leap of faith and leave. Even if there's
I
nothing
love that
waiting for you
faith.
out there,
Like, anyways, I started from somewhere
you get right. You were somewhere before
before
you
you
got
got
there. So
here.
start new, start afresh, start again. You'll be all right.
It's
Honestly,
just a
you'll be
matter
all
of
right.
time, anyways. Okay, so let's hit the nail on the head when it comes to these eating causes of career frustration. We know we've spoken about the aspect of switching jobs and all of that, but aside that, what are those things that people really do not like know that these things are what is causing them to be frustrated? There's difference between when you are burnt out. That's because you get so occupied with a lot of work, but there's this aspect of being frustrated. Like, it's more like you just want to be done with this entire career thing. And I've seen some tech ladies in quotes say, now, they started tech because, oh, the money is there and I want to go into the tech space. Like, tech is the thing now. But now it's now coming off as, since I don't want to do tech anymore, it's looking like the tech is really for the guys, or because when a lady is working almost 24 hours, almost 20 hours, working, like they don't have like a time for themselves and stuff like that. So let's hit the nail on the head. What are those eating causes you feel that is causing this career frustration for techies per se, that people might not really know, but it's causing frustration for them?
First, I would say you don't like what you're doing. You don't
Okay.
love what you're
You don't love what you're
doing.
doing.
First, that could be a good source of why one. Firstly, there are so many reasons, but one would be one of the root cause why you easily get burnt out, frustrated, and all that because you don't even like what you're doing. You wake up every day and there is no zeal, no desire. So that is why in tech would always advise go for what you have
No.
interest in naturally instead of what everybody is doing. Sometimes people neglect some fields. They feel like there is no money here. I can't generate source income here, but there is. The people are making money in some sort of weird field. You be like, where is this one? And this one is making money there. So that's it. You don't always have to be where everybody is. You can go and create a niche for yourself, and you'll be surprised at how you make money as long as you love doing that thing. So first would be love what you are doing. I mean, because of the whole inspiration of you want to do something will be because you love it anyways. So if you don't have desire or passion or what for what you are doing right now, you'd have frustration. No matter how what you want to do, even if you think you have work life balance, when you are done with the balancing and you come back to that work life, you realize that you are back to square one. But when you are done with the balancing and you come back, in a way, if you love what you're doing, you feel refreshed. But
Yeah.
at least before you get to the burnout side, there's a whole refresh. I'm coming back and new and all that. But when you're coming back for balance, there's just this thin line. Immediately you enter the work life, you realize that you are back to square one frustration
Again.
because you don't even love what you're doing. So first would be people go into what they don't love doing. When you start with doing what you don't even have interest in the first place, that can be another cause would be probably little compensation in what you are doing. Sometimes we feel like we do too much.
You
We do
hand
a lot
little.
of work for what we are being paid to do. So that can also cause frustration and burnout. Like I'm doing so lot a lot and I'm paid poorly for these things. You can feel frustrated. I mean, it's human nature. So we would love to be appreciated for what we are doing.
True.
Our payment, salary compensation is part of these appreciations. Even
Yeah.
if they are not said verbally, you want to see it in my account should be
Yeah.
telling me well done.
Should sound dumb.
Yeah, should tell me that's alert, that's a credit alert. When I see it, I want to say, okay, okay, I feel
Something
satisfied
entered.
for what I did this month. This
Sure.
is the rewarding. So compensations can also cause reasons of burnout, like you do a lot and there is no there's no nothing to show for it. And then another thing would be probably no room for growth,
No room
little
for growth.
resources. People just feel stuck sometimes. Because no room for growth. Probably you're always working and you don't even have time to grow personally and all that. So and you don't have that time because of the work-life balance. Then you don't even have time to grow personally or even career-wise. As much as we are working, your work might just be in one space, like one session, but then career tech is wide and
Why?
you want to like explore other things, new technologies coming out and all that. I want to be able to work and still explore, enhance my knowledge and all that, but no room for growth. I'm just stuck. I'm repeating everything every day. I feel like this is repetitive. At that point, I'll feel burnout. Like when you, especially for people that love growth, if you keep repeating your work,
Just over and
it's
over.
you will just be frustrated at some point. Like I don't even feel like I'm doing anything here. I feel stuck. I feel like I'm just stagnant. And also, I mean, we have the popular one of imposter syndrome.
Oh,
Everybody having the what am I doing here? Oh, what am I can't do this,
I'm
I
not.
can't do
I'm
that.
not good enough.
I'm not good enough. Let me not even try before they will come and
I
catch
don't
me.
want people
That
to insult me.
yeah, they should not say I'm a fraud, this, that. All of these things can cause frustration because you can't even do anything. You're stuck there.
True.
You can't even try. You're not even open to innovation. You're not open to risk taking. You're just there. And then you see everybody doing it. So you just be burnt out. It's like no matter what you do, you'll be burnt out, obviously. So these are some kind of hidden causes why people get burnt out and they don't even know.
Okay, so if there was one change you could make to reduce the entire burnout thing, what would it be
Maybe
in the tech space?
I should go and figure out how to do my first. Before I give advice to people, before I figure out how to
You
help
need
somebody
to
else.
do mine
You know how
first.
they say an empty cup, you can't get any, or an empty cup is filled. What's that word? What's that
And
parable
that's why
again?
it's coming as if that you have the ability to change one thing in the tech space because now it's going to be affecting you positively. So what would that be if you have the ability? Let's say they've given you that ability of anything Grace is saying now would put it into law and it's going to be helping in
Okay,
reducing the burnout.
okay.
What would that be?
Employers have should understand that there is life and then there is work, especially remote employers. You should understand that there is life and there is work. If I have an ability to change something, I would be how these remote employers relate with their employees, knowing that this person has. Because why you texting me on Saturday asking me, were you able to do this? What happens to waiting till on Monday?
Hmm.
I mean, we were there on Friday. If you know you have a question for me, why didn't you ask me on Friday after work? That's just probably after before work hours is done. Why not ask me then? So I want to have my weekend. I want to close my laptop without thinking of anything. So I don't see why an employer should be asking me because you have my WhatsApp number. Because you know how we message somebody on Slack. I will not even respond.
No, Slack will
Then
not even
you
prompt you
get
anyways.
Slack and
Once it's
silent
Saturday,
notification.
it's I
You
think
get
from 6 p.m. you can schedule your time in 6 p.m. Slack will not message you. Even when you're on leave. Slack will not notify you. That's why people use Slack for like the work environment thing. But having WhatsApp, oh no.
this one. Let my lead not see.
Okay.
Like you get where you have your personal experience and you feel like if there's anything you can change. But I'm not saying that. Sometimes we are in like some things might happen that somebody
You
might
might
get used
just,
to and all that. It's fine. I can go that extra miles, right? I can absolutely go those extra miles. Personally, I go extra miles. Sometimes I don't even wait to be told. I go the extra miles, work the extra hours. Because in as much as I would love to see these products out there, it's to my I'll be satisfied knowing that people, thousands of people are using this product and I did this, I built this, I'll be satisfied. So yes, there is room for those extra hours, but learn to know that this is work hours, this is this. So there should be clear boundaries. Employers should have clear boundaries on work hours and after work hours, especially for remote. And I don't know if hybrid people on site people do this, so I've never
Now,
really
I
had
think
this
for on
experience.
site, I've I a colleague of mine. Then what you would do is, you know, you are using the company's system. So once I'm done with the company's work, I leave it
At work,
at
right?
work.
It's even
So
best too.
even when you are chatting
Honestly,
me up,
I
my
can't do
system is at
anything.
work.
Yes,
So
you saw me at work working,
you did
right?
not reach
Where
out.
I stopped, that is where I stopped.
When I
This
come
is
on
my
one day, I'll
frequency.
continue. So anything that wants to happen to the system should happen.
Yes, you have it there. So it's beyond my control
And
right
it's
now.
it's it's really good when you have, and I think it happens because over time the guy is already like, you guys just chat me in the night, chat me in the morning. Sometimes they call you at night, like, don't I have a life? Because I didn't send my life to be a developer,
Like all of these things.
so
And then I feel like there should be resources for work-life balance. In as much as we preach that there is no work-life balance, there is no work-life balance, as well as there is a work-life balance. It depends on where you're looking at it from. Because personally, if I save my life, I will feel like I don't have a work-life balance. But sometimes I'm being honest with myself. I do have a work-life balance because at the end of the day, I choose to watch movie. I
true.
choose to binge watch on that. I could
That's
go
you being
anywhere. I
intentional.
could go anywhere. I could go out. At least I have that time, even if probably from 8 to my bedtime, I can go out, chill and all that. But sometimes maybe because I'm tired from the day, I decide to sleep. So these are my time. These are work-life balance time. I mean, I signed the contract to work 9 to 5. So even if I decide to go extra hours, it's fine. I
And it should
decided
be
to.
on me.
Yeah, I decided to. So I have it. I decided to do that extra hour. So even as much as I'm complaining that I don't have it, I do. Because for those extra hours, I decide to do those extra hours. So I have my time, I have the work, I have the balance. It's just as much as we should know when to call the line and know that this is
Yeah.
my balance
Oh,
time and
I'm
this is
so
my work time.
sorry. Can we do it? I think my mentor will always have this line. You just tell them, "Oh, no problem. I'm going to look into it, but can I give you the feedback tomorrow?" So you are being polite that you're going to look into it, but can it be done tomorrow?
That's another way of
So
saying no.
I'm saying no.
You
So you're not
get?
just saying no. You're letting them
Yeah.
know that you look into it, but
Yeah.
tomorrow. So in that way, you've passed your message that. And sometimes there's this fear that comes off with, I don't want to open my WhatsApp because they see that I'm online. They see that as happened to me one time, and I'm like,
True,
I don't want
true,
to open my
true.
WhatsApp. It's already past 7. I don't want them to know I'm
Yeah,
on.
true.
But really, this is my WhatsApp.
That is it. So we should
This is my
really be
WhatsApp.
educated. Like there should be resources and education on work-life balance. If I have the will
I think it's majorly
to,
on you. If you actually draw the line, at some
yes,
point, at first, I was always scared of saying no. So it doesn't look like, oh, I don't want to help or I don't want to do it. But when I spoke with my mentor and it was like, just this is the way you should go about saying it. So at the time, the boss called. I'm like, oh, no problem. I'm going to look into it, but can it be done tomorrow? Oh, no problem. Take your time. Oh, so I can actually just say this, and I'm always scared of saying no just because. So most times it's just putting out the right words
yeah,
appropriately and being polite when you're saying it. But I when you're just starting out in tech and intern, for example, and with a company, and I've seen interns run away from companies because lately I think it's a these guys they want to use intern, but indirectly the requirements they want is
true,
like you should have all the experience before joining.
true, true.
Because what we know as intern is they are coming to learn,
Yeah,
you are
true.
teaching. But now it's looking like the intern already have the entire experience and the intern is jumping on real life project and doing things on their own. So you get to see that interns run away. I've seen a particular intern that the intern just switch phone, like, don't come here.
Yeah, gets to
Don't
that.
call me again. So cases like this, what's your advice to people that's just like thinking, oh, I want to go into tech. Let me start learning tech. What's your advice for them? Because there's this saying of it's better to catch them young. We're already there and we might not really have that so much ability to say, I should have done this earlier. Maybe while communicating to employer or negotiating, I would have just put in words like I don't want I will not appreciate past hour timing or work like that. So, what's your advice if you want to give out advice to people that are just starting out?
Well, the beginning of the whole career year is meant to be stressful and all that. In as much as we like, we try to sugarcoat it. You can't come in and be relaxed and feel things will get better or get well. So when you are coming in, depending on why you are coming in the first place, when you are coming in, you have to come with that zeal to work, to the work. People tell stories of how they did this project and they were paid 70K and all that and all that. That year, how they were paid 50K
Yeah, I
and
think
all that.
I stay with 50. Is it 50K? I
Okay.
was so happy.
I think my first project was actually 100K.
50K. I was so happy.
So this is how what people are doing here. So it's that whole first year coming to learn. Come with the mindset of I'm coming to learn, I'm coming to do the job. Sometimes we take our beginnings for granted. We feel like I should be earning better and all that. But I mean, you're an intern. I understand that people can use people, but you personally on your own ground, in as much as you try to set clear boundaries with your employers and say, I can't do this, I can't do that. But are you also there to learn? Some people can just be lazy generally and say it's because you are giving me more work and all that. So I feel like people should come in with the intention to learn, even if you have to go under the bus to learn, do it because this will set the pace, the path for your
For
further career path. So you have to be intentional about learning. So even if you see small opportunity, pick it up and learn. Be curious enough to want to do more. Want to this kind of sets your record great. Like I joined this company and I wasn't so good. I would lie, I wasn't so good. But then after a year, they made me. I had to lead the project because my boss was like, "This you're always. I want to do it. I want to do it. I like
But at that
energy and all
point, you
that."
never felt frustrated.
Nah, the working culture was great.
Okay.
Aside the whole, people, some working
Because
culture is very
that's where I'm
shitty,
actually, yeah, that's where I'm actually
very
going to.
shitty. But mine was actually great. I mean,
Okay.
I've had working culture that is shit, and this is because when we start, we don't set clear boundaries.
True.
But I understand that they can't tell you this, you go and chill that. They'll be like, this one is not ready. That's what we do.
No, I came to no this time I came to the tech space informed. You know, I'm aware of your shit, so I'm already
I'm like,
informed.
bye.
Bye.
So they're out. So that kind of thing, I understand that is there, but sometimes there has to be compromise for what you want.
Okay.
So as long as it's not that toxic and all that, and you can manage under this pressure, as long as it's helping you learn, you should. And sometimes some working culture can be so relaxing that you don't even get to have room to learn. Always put in the I want to learn and tell your subordinates that you love to take on more tasks. When you feel like you're now relaxed, I need to go to the next stage. Always be open to if you want to go to the next stage and try to communicate. I think communication is
Okay.
good. It's very key in every work aspect, career life, and everything. Communication is key, right? You have to know how to communicate your needs
Because they really
openly.
would not know what
Yeah,
you
you're very
want
true.
if you don't say.
You have to openly communicate your needs nicely. I mean, and professionally and all that. And so people understand where you're coming from and where you want to get to, and know how to prioritize what you should be doing now or not. And then I feel like we should have priorities. Like newbies should have priorities. They are always jumping. I've seen newbies jump. Sometimes newbies come for mentorship, and you agree to right. The next 2 days you will not see them. You'll be the one chasing after them. So newbies should come with the intention to learn and be intentional for everybody that have gotten far in their career, we were intentional.
True.
Like you have to be really intentional. Nobody is going to get it done for you
You do it yourself.
besides you. No matter as much as they always encourage mentorship. Mentorship is good and all that. Support is good, but it starts from you. If you are not ready, you are not
And
determined
most
to do
times, it's the
this.
energy you bring that will determine what your mentor is going to give.
That is it. If you're not ready and all that, there is no way you can go far. So you have to come with that intentionality to do it, and then seek mentorship, support. I mean, support and mentorship is very good. But if you can't, you can work with yourself and maybe get resources and all that. But then mentorship is good because it guides you through they've gone through this path, so they'll know proper where to instead of jumping into the river head first. This time you know your path, where to go next, where to go next. And then support system because we are humans at the end of the day.
True.
First, we are humans for anything else. You get tired, you get frustrated. You need people that tells you,
What?
okay, I've heard, you can rant too. All right, even if
Oh,
it's just to
that's
listen,
ranting.
even if it's just the
Okay.
listening part, fine. I'm there to listen. Or you want advice, I'm there. Because your mentor, you cannot go and be ranting to your mentor. Or
There
you
are cases where I just come up like that.
like
It's not when the waiter will just be like, "How are you feeling? I'm
eh,
fine." No, talk to me. That talk to me. Just hear
you
me.
get, except there is a room for that. But
Yeah.
there's no room for that. You need to have support system
Yeah.
where,
That's where you have community
yes,
to
yeah,
take
and all
friends.
that, because it will be needed. It's very needed. Ah, you want to do this thing yourself.
Nah, be
Nah, so it's
frustrated.
very needed to have your support system and have mentors, and then seek resources that are valid, and join communities. There are communities in almost every career field, so join communities. This way, you are aligned and you know the people you have to go with, and create valuable connections. There's thing that says your network is a net worth. So, in as much as these connections, you can't say you want to be where C at, and you are where I don't know if this makes sense anyways, but the point is that you have to make valuable connections. You can't just be carefree or careless with how you relate to people.
People
And that's no, you have to be intentional about connecting. In as much as you're
and
intentional about learning to get a job done, that's how much you should be intentional about connecting.
connections.
This person I'm trying to connect with, how is this person helping my career? How am I going to help this person? So these are kind of questions you should be asking before you relate to people, because if you just gather friends and you gather people
You'll be
and
lost.
nobody's doing what do we all don't know what we are doing. What are we doing here? So
Nobody's to
at
help
least
you.
you should have valuable connections. I'm not saying don't make friends and friends and all that, but have in every aspect, like, oh, this one is ahead and this person will help my career, and as well as I'm also helping in a way you should. So these are things somebody coming into the tech space should look out for. Clear communication, set boundaries with your employers, but in a very professional way. Like, ask questions. So when you ask some questions, most times they understand. When you ask questions like, what do you understand
Work life balance.
after work? So they
And
understand
are
that.
you intentional about the work life
So
balance?
they understand that, okay, this person expects a work-life balance for this person to ask this question. So they will know how to relate with you going forward. If they know that they don't have, from the beginning they'll tell you they can't employ you, which saves you the stress.
True.
So you should ask questions. Don't be scared to ask employers questions when you are trying to get a job. Ask questions so they will know where you are coming from, where you intend to go to. And if they feel that from your questions this person doesn't fit the role, they let you go, and it saves you that stress of going through whatever you would have gone through if you had gone into it. So ask questions, be clear with your communication, and be very formal, and have support systems, have mentors. Mentorship is good, it's great. Join communities and make great connections, network connections. Okay, advice to newbies would be, as a newbie starting off, you are supposed to have clear communication paths with your employer, and have clear boundaries, and know when it ends and when it begins. I mean, work hours, after work hours. Would you be calling me after work hours? Which is fine, but hope it will be consistent. Like, it will be like a right that you have to call me after work hours, and clear communications. What is expected of me? What I'm here to do. And also, I feel like you should also seek to grow. You should be intentional about growth, be intentional about growth, as well as getting people to know that you want to grow in that part. So you have to seek requests for other things to do that you know would make you grow. And you have to also have a mentor. Mentors are great, which I know sometimes people be like, I've tried. If you tried and you couldn't get any, join communities. Either ways, even if you get a mentor or not, join communities. Community is great. Community is one thing that will help you grow, because you have like minds there, people that have walked the path you are just coming into to work. You see them in pools, so you get to have insights, you get to ask questions. And don't be scared to ask questions. Ask questions, ask lots of questions. If you don't ask, you would not know. So ask these questions, even if they sound stupid. Nobody's going to go and beat you for asking stupid questions. So ask these questions, have mentors, have support system for this that you feel tired, you feel like ranting, the support system should be there to, give you listening ear or probably give you a hug. Very important. Like if you are coming into tech, you need these things. Like you need these things. I think in life generally you need these things. Not talking of coming into tech or picking a career, any career path, you will need these things. So having a support system is great, as well as making networks, intentional about networking, having people that would help you in your career paths, you know, you have to be intentional about knowing who helps you, who would help you, who you should be relating to, and how are you valuable to them as well. So the thing is, you have to have this network of people that will help you go far and not just fast. You are running, where are you running to? You don't know. So why not have people that you would walk this path with, and you people will figure it out, and they've already, some of them have already figured it out. They help you. Knowledge is power. They help you with this knowledge to go far in your career path. So yeah, have be intentional about connections and have clear communication paths with your employers. Have clear boundaries. These are things you should consider as a newbie coming into the tech space.
So, guys, we've come to the end of this interesting podcast session. I'm sure you enjoyed it and you've learned one or two things from this section. Beyond burnout, uncovering the hidden causes of career frustration. So, what you can do now is to click on the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter, and share with your friends. Don't just be the only person that is enjoying these sections. Share it with your friends so that they can also come and learn one or two things and grow in their career paths. And please, after this section, ensure that you don't get frustrated in your career, because that's the reason why we are doing this section for you and your tech friends. So we all have like a career fulfillment. We don't need to always be frustrated in our career. That's not the goal, right? So thank you so much for staying till the end of this section. I'm your host, Iro Inkechi Omolola. Bye.